So what about the refugees who are granted asylum? Are they exempt from this ban? A new citizenship ban in the UK has sparked confusion and concern. Many are asking, are asylum seekers who are granted refugee in the UK exempt from these changes, or will they also face restrictions? Hello and welcome back to All Things Legal. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, welcome. Please subscribe, turn your notification on so you do not miss any other updates. In my recent video, we looked at the changes to the good character guidance and what it means. With further implications, we are going to break it down even further. We are going to answer the crucial question: are refugees in the UK exempt from the citizenship ban? Let's dive into it now. In 2023, the UK introduced new rules under the Illegal Migration Act, aiming to deter people from crossing the channel on small boats. What is the most controversial part? A lifetime ban on citizenship for anyone who arrives illegally. Under these rules, people who enter the UK through unauthorized or illegal routes could be permanently barred from becoming British citizens. Now, the Home Office have established further guidelines denying British citizenship to refugees arrived in the UK illegally. The policy makes adjustments to the good character requirement for naturalization. It deems those who arrive illegally via dangerous journeys ineligible for UK citizenship. So what about the refugees who are granted asylum? Are they exempt from this ban? The answer is complicated. Refugees who are officially granted asylum are not automatically exempt from the citizenship ban. It largely depends on how they arrived in the UK. If a refugee is granted asylum after entering the UK illegally, they could still face restrictions on citizenship. However, if they arrived through an approved resettlement program or a safe legal route, the ban may not apply. Let's discuss further. We must take into account Article 31 of the Refugee Convention when considering whether it is appropriate to refuse a person granted refugee status on the grounds of illegal entry. Article 31 states that refugees should not have any penalties imposed upon them as a consequence of illegally entering or being present in the country of refuge illegally in order to seek sanctuary, provided that they 1. Travel to the country of refuge directly from the territory where they fear persecution. 2. Presented themselves to the domestic authorities without delay. 3. Showed good cause for their illegal entry or presence. Article 31 of the Refugee Convention does not specify any minimum time before a person should claim asylum, and this will need to be considered on a case-by-case basis. As a guide, it is not unreasonable to expect that a person who enters the UK illegally with the intention of claiming asylum should claim asylum within 4 weeks of arrival. An applicant who, having entered illegally, delayed claiming asylum beyond this period will normally be refused citizenship unless there's a reasonable explanation that those seeking protection should do so in the first available safe country. So should not, for example, travel across several European countries to claim in the UK. That by itself will not be grounds to refuse, but it will be a factor to consider alongside others that may cast doubt on an applicant's good character. Now let's have a look at what activists are saying on these changes. The distinction between legal and illegal entry refugees has led to a significant controversy. Critics argue that it punishes vulnerable people fleeing war and prosecution simply because they had no safe route to the UK. They also express concern that the policy undermines the UK's tradition of providing refuge to those fleeing persecution. Critics further argue that the strategy breaches international law and will impact the societal integration of refugees contributing to the UK. Critics also argue that it violates the UK's obligation on 51 Refugee Convention, which prohibits penalizing refugees for illegal entry. And activists argue that we believe that refugees, especially those granted, deserve a clear and fair path to citizenship. It is about giving people a chance to rebuild their lives without fear of statelessness. The Church of England warns that labeling refugees who, through no fault of their own, have had to put their lives at risk on flimsy vessels or have had to hide in the backs of lorries to reach safety on our shores as a type of second-class individual will simply breed division and distrust. What are your thoughts on the activist views?
We've got to work with European partners to stop this problem at source, to break the link between getting in a boat and getting settlement in Europe. And thirdly, we've got to do more to make sure that Britain is a less easy place for illegal migrants to come to and work in. And that's what our immigration bill is all about.
It is important to understand that each case is assessed individually, and the Home Office has the discretion to make exceptions. But this brings uncertainty and inconsistency. Why is this so important? Citizenship provides stability, security, and the right to fully participate in society. Without it, refugees may face a lifetime of uncertainty. So to answer the question, no. Refugees who are granted asylum in the United Kingdom are not automatically exempt from the citizenship ban. It largely depends on how they arrived in the UK and how the Home Office interprets their case. Do they have exceptional and compelling circumstances or mitigating factors? There must be exceptional and compelling reasons for the Home Office to grant citizenship. What are your thoughts on this issue? Should refugees who are granted asylum in the UK be exempt from the citizenship ban, regardless of how they entered the UK? Let us know in the comments below. That's a wrap for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and turn your notification on so you do not miss any other important updates. Thanks for watching and bye for now. This ban citizenship ban in the UK has sparked confusion and concern. Many are asking, are asylum seekers who are granted refugee in the UK exempt from these changes, or will they also face restrictions? Hello and welcome back to All Things Legal. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, welcome. Please subscribe and turn your notification on so you do not miss any other updates. In my recent video, we looked at the changes to the Good Character Guidance and what it means. We further looked at its implication on children who enter the UK illegally. In today's video, we are going to break it down even further. We are going to answer the crucial question: are refugees who were granted asylum in the UK exempt from the citizenship ban? Let's dive into it now. In 2023, the UK introduced new rules under the Illegal Migration Act, aiming to deter people from crossing the Channel on small boats. What is the most controversial part? A lifetime ban on citizenship for anyone who arrives illegally. Under these rules, people who enter the UK through unauthorized or illegal routes could be permanently barred from becoming British citizens. Now, the Home Office have established further guidelines denying British citizenship to refugees who arrived in the UK illegally. The policy makes adjustments to the good character requirement for naturalization. It deems those who arrive illegally via dangerous journeys ineligible for UK citizenship. So what about the refugees who were granted asylum? Are they exempt from this ban? The answer is complicated. Refugees who are officially granted asylum are not automatically exempt from the citizenship ban. It largely depends on how they arrived in the UK. If a refugee is granted asylum after entering the UK illegally, they could still face restrictions on citizenship. However, if they arrived through an approved resettlement program or a safe legal route, the ban may not apply. Let's discuss further. We must take into account Article 31 of the Refugee Convention when considering whether it is appropriate to refuse a person granted refugee status on the grounds of illegal entry. Article 31 states that refugees should not have any penalties imposed upon them as a consequence of illegally entering or being present in the country of refuge illegally in order to seek sanctuary, provided that they 1. Travel to the country of refuge directly from the territory where they fear persecution. 2. Presented themselves to the domestic authorities without delay. 3. Showed good cause for their illegal entry or presence. Article 31 of the Refugee Convention does not specify any minimum time before a person should claim asylum, and this will need to be considered on a case-by-case basis. As a guide, it is not unreasonable to expect that a person who enters the UK illegally with the intention of claiming asylum should claim asylum within 4 weeks of arrival. An applicant who, having entered illegally, delayed claiming asylum beyond this period will normally be refused citizenship unless there's a reasonable explanation for the delay. There is also an expectation that those seeking protection should do so in the first available safe country. So should not, for example, travel across several European countries to claim in the UK. That by itself will not be grounds to refuse, but it will be a factor to consider alongside others that may cast doubt on an applicant's good character. Now let's have a look at what activists are saying on these changes. The distinction between legal and illegal entry refugees has led to a significant controversy. Critics argue that it punishes vulnerable people fleeing war and prosecution simply because they had no safe route to the UK. Hi, everyone. Good evening, wherever you are in the world, whether you are in the UK, if you are in the Caribbean, if you are in America, if you are in Africa, in Asia, wherever you are, good evening and welcome to All Things Legal with me, Sherry. Okay. So my name is Sharisa Cupid. I am an immigration lawyer in the United Kingdom. I specialize in immigration, family law, civil litigation, commercial property, commercial law, anything legal. Okay. But on this live today, we are going to talk about immigration. All right. So let's talk about immigration. If this is your first time on my live, welcome. Please share the live and also like the live so that it can build the algorithm on YouTube. So you share the live, you like the live, okay? If you have any question, feel free to put it in the chat and I would answer your question and we can talk about it, okay? Let me just find this thing. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and welcome. If this is your first time, welcome, okay? So we're going to talk about the certificate of sponsorship, scam that is happening in Nigeria at the moment. There are lots of scamming that is happening in Africa in relation to UK certificate of sponsorship. So we're going to have a chat about that this evening. Share the live with anyone that you know would like to join in the conversation. But that's what we're going to talk about, okay? Can you just put in the chat if you're hearing me clearly? I just want to make sure that you're hearing me. Can you just put in the chat if you're hearing me clearly? Okay, so I think you are hearing me clearly. All right. Let me just make a few notes. It's not really notes, but I'm just going to jot some things. I'll just wait a bit until at least I have about a few more people on the live, and then I will begin. Let's just see if anyone else will join the live before I start the conversation. Hi, welcome. Welcome to All Things Legal. Right. So today we're going to talk about the certificate of sponsorship scamming that's happening in Nigeria in particular. Yeah. The UK job sponsorship. There are lots of scamming that's happening in Nigeria. So I'm going to talk about that on this live. I'm going to address it. So as I go along, if you have any question, feel free to put it in the chat. What do you think about the UK sponsorship scamming in Nigeria? Okay. So we all know that, well, I assume that we all know that, I don't know, it is something about everyone wants to come to the UK or they want to go to America or these first world countries. And so they will do anything possible to get into these countries. And there are agents. So you may know your friend, or in Africa, as you know, they call each other their brother, their sister. So you may know someone who is an agent who can help you with getting a COS for yourself and your family to come to the UK to work. And so what has been happening is that these agents are submitting wrong information, submitting wrong documents to the Home Office in order to obtain a COS, which is a sponsorship for that person to come here. And in exchange of getting the COS or even getting the skilled worker visa, the agent will charge a lot of money. So I've heard stories where people paid over £5,000, the equivalent of Naira, to an agent just to get a COS, that's the shortened form, to come here to the UK to work. The problem occurs when they get to the UK. So when they get to the UK, there's one thing or the other. Maybe no work, no place to stay, no money, no shifts. And so they encounter a lot of challenges when they get to the UK. Now, in reality, people will sell their lands, they will sell their properties, they will borrow money from family and friends just to come to the UK to work. When they get to the UK, unfortunately, it's either the employer has no work, has no shift, and they are left in surprise, or some of them, they don't know what to do. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the unfortunate situation of people being scammed in order to get a UK certificate of sponsorship. And this is like a business for many agents in Nigeria and Africa. It's like a business for them. Okay? So you have to be very, very careful. If you want to come to the UK, do it the correct way, do it the legal way. All right? People will have agents do their application for them, and they don't know anything about the application. They don't know what is put into the application. They don't know when the application was submitted, etc. So you have to be very, very careful of what you allow the agent to do and who you allow to do your application for you and your certificate of sponsorship. Do not buy or pay for a certificate of sponsorship. Okay? Now I'm going to read from an article in the Metro News. So if you're interested to find that article, it's in Metro News. And it states, Nigerians stage protest in London against rising cases of UK certificate of sponsorship scams. All right. Now, in the article, it went on to state that Nigerians residing in the United Kingdom have staged a protest against the increasing cases of certificate of sponsorship, COS scams, which have left many victims stranded after paying thousands of pounds to fraudulent agents and companies. This is the unfortunate situation that's been happening. Unfortunately, people are selling their houses, they're selling their lands, they're doing everything possible just to come to the UK. Then when they get to the UK, there are no jobs for them. They're stranded in the UK. So then what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Let me try and connect my TikTok. So so I can share this live on TikTok as well. Just one moment. I'm just going to share the live on my TikTok page as well, so I can be connected there also. Let me just let me see something. Can I not connect my TikTok as well? Let me see. Just one moment, guys. I'm gonna connect my TikTok also if it can make sense. But it's okay. Okay. I will leave that. No. I didn't even write screenshot. Okay, we'll leave this until another time because I don't know what to do there. Okay, I'm back. Mhm. Hi, sis. Hi, Desiree. Hi, sis. You good? Hi, sis. Hi, Desiree. All right. Yes, I'm gonna continue. Sorry about that. I was trying to link my TikTok with this streaming platform, but I think I need to do it after, not now. Right. So as I was saying, we're looking at the scamming that's happening in Nigeria in relation to UK sponsorship visa. Okay. So lots of agents are taking money from people to get sponsorship to come to the UK to work. And it's basically they're scamming. Okay. Now, I was reading from the article in the Metro News where Nigerians stage protests in London against rising cases of UK certificate of sponsorship scams. Now, it states Nigerians residing in the United Kingdom have staged a protest against the increasing cases of certificate of sponsorship scams, also known as COS, which have left many victims stranded after paying thousands of pounds to fraudulent agents and companies. Note that. So let's use a scenario. Let's say that your name is Tom and you want a way out. You want a way out from your country to come to the UK or go to America, but in this case we're talking about the UK. So you want a way out. You want to make life better for yourself and your family. Who knows, you might be struggling and you just need something to do. Things are hard in Nigeria, things are rough in Africa. You need to come out internationally to find work. Are really, really good because you want to better yourself and your family. You want to alleviate yourself. All right. And you'll do any family. Okay. So you'll do anything for you're desperate for greener pastures. Now you were approached by a brother or a sister, as they call it in Nigeria, in Africa. Um, so you are approached by a brother or sister and they say, "Hey, Tom, I have a really, really good offer for you. There's work in the UK. You can work in the care sector. You can work in the health sector. I've got sponsorship for you, work sponsorship. Are you interested?" And for you, it's like saving grace. It's like, oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this opportunity all my life. I've been trying to get something better to come to the UK to work, to help my mother, to help my family. You are God sent. Thank you so much. And you're so, so happy and excited. You accept the offer to come to the UK. Now the agent will say to you, okay, if you're interested, then you need to get these documents to me. This document, you need to get that document, and you're like, okay, I'm on it. You're going in the documents ready to submit to the agent. Then the agent will £5,000, and of course you do the equivalent in naira. I need to share this on my TikTok also. Should I? Let me use this phone. Or maybe I can pick this email up. I need to share this on my TikTok. Just go there. Hi, everybody. I think I have it now. I've been trying for forever to try and get this my TikTok join on this platform, but I guess I'll have to do that another time, not tonight. It fights me a lot. Hey, Queen. Hey, how are you? Oh my God. I am here fighting up with this new platform where I can stream like all my platforms on. So I can stream on YouTube, I can stream on TikTok, Facebook at the same time. But yeah, you know, when you have a new toy, you have to. Hi, Raji. When you have a new toy, you like all over it. So I've been trying for like the past half an hour to try and get this linked. But nevertheless, sorry, I have it on my phone now. Why is it not coming up? All right, I've got it here now. You're laughing. Yes, it's a new toy. I know. I'm trying to because if it's on one streaming platform, then it's better for me than to have it on two phones at the same time. Hi, Taj. Hiya. Hi. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to those on YouTube and welcome to those on TikTok as well. So this evening, because I started my live already on YouTube, and I'm like, no, I have to get my TikTok family in as well. So let me get this light up a little bit. All right, so I'm not going to delay. Let me just, as a matter of fact, let me, should I end this live? Anyhow, doesn't matter. It's okay. Right. So I'm going to jump right into it. I would answer your questions in a bit, but I have a topic that I want to talk about. And I like your input as well. As you join the live, you like the live, you share the live. Hope everyone is doing well. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world, good evening. If you're in the Caribbean, good evening. If you are in Africa, in Asia, in the USA, in the UK, good evening to you. Okay. Long time Kia. I hope you're fine. All right. So I do have a topic that I want to talk about. Actually, it's a news article. So tonight we're going to talk about the sponsorship scamming that's happening in Nigeria. UK sponsorship. Now, if you hear me, pronounce the word sponsorship a kind of how, for people from the Caribbean, I don't know how you say it in other terms, but it's like when you have a tight tongue. So it's like when the S comes together, sometimes it gives a different sound. Okay. So in the Caribbean, we call it a tight tongue, but I don't know what you call it or what you refer to it in different places. So sometimes if I try to say S too quickly or too close together, it it gives and Queen is laughing. What do you call it in Jamaica? Like in the Caribbean, we say tight tongue. Kia is laughing. So if you try to call a word too fast, like especially words with S, it would give that song. And also I do stammer, well, we say stammer or stir a lot. So yeah, so bear with Listung. Yes, we said that as well. Listung. I do have that sometimes when I try to speak too fast or if I try to call certain words with S. Yeah, Listung. Yes. So bear with me. I would be using the short word COS. Okay, so COS is the same as certificate of sponsorship. All right. So in a news article in Metro News, the headline is Nigerians stage protests in London against rising cases of UK certificate of sponsorship scams. All right, this is very interesting. So I'm going to read the first part. It says Nigerians residing in the United Kingdom have staged a protest against the increasing cases of certificate of sponsorship, which is COS scams, which have left many victims stranded after paying thousands of pounds to fraudulent agents and companies. All right. So I love to give scenarios. So my scenario is, let's say Tom lives in Nigeria. Yes, I'll just say COS. Let's say Tom lives in Nigeria and Tom is going through a very, very rough time. Very, very rough time. He has no money. He's struggling financially. His family is struggling. His children are struggling. And Tom has been praying for a way out. He has been praying. He's going to church and he's praying for something to happen so he can get a way out. So he can better himself, better his family, and overall alleviate himself from poverty or whatever situation, economical struggles. Tom has been praying, I'm telling you. And one day, someone approaches Tom. And in Nigeria and Africa, you call them your brother, your sister. So a brother approaches Tom and after church, and he said to Tom, I have an opportunity for you. I have something to tell you. And he starts to tell Tom that he has jobs in the UK and he can help him to get a job in the UK. And he needs to provide XB documents. And, he assures Tom that he can get work in the UK and he can get it as soon as possible. Now, after Tom just finished hearing a wonderful service, a wonderful sermon, Tom is happy, he's excited, he's ready to come to the year to work and to improve himself and to improve his family, to get money for his family. He's excited. So Tom said to the brother, yes, what do you need? What can I give to you? How can I get this sponsorship? How can I get to the UK to work? Because remember, I don't know why, but for a lot of people, the UK, the USA, places like Dubai, they're seen as greener pastures. It's like money is here, money is there. So they want to get to the UK, they want to get to the greener pastures. Okay, little do Tom know that what is going to happen next, but we'll get to that. So Tom is all excited to come to the UK to work, and the brother said to him, you need to provide this, you need to provide that. So Tom went home, tell his parents, tell his family, I'm going to the UK. Someone is going to get me a sponsorship. Now, Tom provided the documents, his passport, everything that the agent asked for. Tom provided it. Then the agent said to Tom, you need to pay £5,000 to get this sponsorship. If you really want to go to the UK, you need to pay £5,000. The uncertainty. Yes, Queen, you need to pay £5,000 if you want to get to the UK. If you really want this sponsorship, if you really want to get work and to, make money, you need to pay £5,000 to get to the UK. So, if I am in Tom's position, I just want to get out. I don't care how much it costs. I just want to get out. Good evening. Baby, good evening. I just want to get out. I don't care how much it costs. Okay. And so Tom said, okay, no problem. I'll get you the money. £5,000, you do the equivalent in Naira to get a sponsorship to come to the UK. All right. Remember, Tom is already struggling. Okay. No thought at all about what lies ahead. They're not thinking about it. But Tom is already struggling. He has no money. But hear what? Tom went to his family. He went to the community. He went to his church brothers and church sisters, and he pulled the money together. Pull the money together. How much Naira? Somebody tell me in the chat, £5,000 is how much equivalent in Naira? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. People will sell their houses, they will sell their lands, they will borrow money just to get that sponsorship to come to the UK. Believe it or not. And so this is what Tom did. That's a lot of money. Yes, Queen, it's a lot of money. Kia said, OMG. Yeah. And so Tom did everything to pay that £5,000 to the agent to come to the UK. All right. So the agent collected the money. Now, let's go on. So in the news article, it says that many are left stranded after paying thousands of pounds to fraudulent agents and companies. Note the word fraudulent. About 10 million or more Naira. That's a lot of money. Yeah? So Tom paid the money. He didn't care. He just wanted to come out of Nigeria and come to the UK. So he paid the money. But he paid the money to fraudulent agents. And the problem is, it's called buying a COS. So you buy a COS to come to the UK, but you don't know what is put in the application. You don't know what documents were submitted to the application. Sometimes you don't even know who you are matched with on your application. These are things that happens in real life. And here you have people protesting in London against this same issue, scamming of sponsorship in Nigeria and Africa by extension. Most times they come to the UK and they don't know what is in the application. Nothing at all. But let's get on with it. So the article states in Metro News that they paid thousands of pounds to fraudulent agents and companies. Now, what made these companies fraudulent? What activities have these companies done to be fraudulent? Do you want to know? The issue happens when they come to the UK, when they arrive in the UK. When they arrive in the UK, that's when they realize that the agents were fraudulent. And that's when they realize that they were scammed. What happens? Why they realize that they were scammed? One, when they get to the UK, there are either no jobs. So you get a sponsorship in care, but when you come, there are no care jobs for you. Yeah. Secondly, when you come to the UK, there are no shifts for you. No shifts. Thirdly, when you come to the UK, you agreed 3,000 salary monthly. When you get to the UK, if you get 1,000, you get plenty. Just saying. Reduced salary. Someone said, therefore, they are aware and just plain victims, though. I'm coming to that point as well. I'm coming to that's so true. I'm getting to that point as well. So when they come to the UK, all that was agreed, that were agreed, changes everything. Then as a result of no job, no work, they are then left homeless. Homeless. Everybody that the people that you borrowed money from in Nigeria, in Africa, you cannot repay your debts. And so you become homeless, you have no money to survive in the UK. That's just pure evil doing. Yes. Then you have no money to survive in the UK. Then you're saying to yourself, I have been scammed. Now, as an immigration lawyer, the first thing I'll say to you, how is it that you did not understand or realize that when an agent asks you for such a large sum of money, that something was wrong? Something must have been wrong if you're paying an agent £5,000 just to get a work visa, a sponsorship to come to the UK. That's the starting point. Now, for a COS application, it's roughly about £400, if so much, that the employer pays to the Home Office. Hi, Digilo. Hi. Your employer pays that amount to the Home Office for the COS. You, as an employee or potential employee, do not pay any money at all for a COS. So when the agent said to you, you have to pay £5,000, that should ring a bell that something is wrong. Something doesn't sit right. Why would the agent ask me for so much money I don't have? But no, your eagerness to come to the UK to work blinds everything that you're supposed to understand or realize. And so now you come to the UK and you're left stranded. You're a victim now of being scammed. It happens to people. It happens a lot. Unfortunately, it happens. Now, as someone in my TikTok comment said, they are aware of what's going to happen in the UK. They are aware. Now, this is true. Some are aware and some are not. So you have to give the balance. Some are genuinely aware that when they get to the UK, hey, what? I'm only giving you this sponsorship so you can get to the UK. When you get to the UK, you have to fight for yourself. There are no jobs and you can't get paid. So when you get to the UK, you have to fight for yourself. It's just the entry. Some are aware that this sponsorship is just a way to get into the UK. While some genuinely did not know. Genuinely did not know. And so there has to be a balance. I cannot come here as an immigration lawyer and say that everyone is aware. There are some people who genuinely did not know what lies ahead. And so they were scammed just because they needed an opportunity. And it happens all the time. All the time. And so they had a protest in London recently. Victims who are scammed, left stranded in the UK because there are no jobs for them. And most of these people are in care sector. They come through the care route. Someone said ignorance is not an excuse with the Home Office or the Secretary of State, though. Correct. That is correct. There must have been red flags at the beginning of the transaction. Red flags. There must have been red flags at the beginning of the transaction. Number one red flag, you do not pay for a COS. £5,000, £6,000, you do not pay for a COS. That's the first red flag. The second red flag, you have no knowledge of what is in your application, your skilled worker visa application. No knowledge. Ignorance is no excuse. Okay? Ignorance is no excuse. So the protest took place in London, as I said, because of the, many have been left stranded after paying thousands of pounds to agents and companies to come to the UK to work. Now let's move on to what the article is saying. So this is an article in Metro News, if you want to find it and have a look at it as well. Then the article went on to state, the demonstration which took place on Marsham Street in London on Thursday saw affected individuals calling for justice and stricter regulations to curb the scam. Now, let's have a chat in the comment section. What do you think can be done? What measures can the Home Office put in place to curb this issue of scamming? What do you think can be done? So Mami said, using a third party to the best to beat the Home Office and now lamenting ain't allowed and shouldn't stand. Correct. What measures do you think can be put in place to help to curb this situation? What do you think the Home Office can do by extension? They open up the loophole, sadly. That's true, Snitch. That's very true. Like the live as you come in, guys, on TikTok. Share the live. This is a very interesting topic. And that's why I had to pause my YouTube so I can get my TikTok family involved as well. I am also on YouTube also and on TikTok. Now, the victims who have been scammed, they're now calling for justice and stricter regulations to curb the scamming. What do you think can happen? What measures do you think can be put in place? Mommy say stricter regulations and making sure agency ain't allowed to recruit other than the NHS. Okay. Too many loopholes. Okay. Let me see if anyone is commenting on my YouTube. What measures do you think can be put in place? That's what the victims are calling for. So let's look at how a COS is done and how a COS is granted. All right. The starting point for a COS is that you have to have a registered company in the UK. Okay. So I'm giving knowledge here also on the live while I'm having this conversation. Companies improperly check upon valid history. Snitch. That's the good thing, and that's the point I'm coming to. Issuance of COS shouldn't be easily granted. That's the point I'm coming to as well. Thank you for those contributions. So COS. The starting point to even get to a COS is to have a registered company or business in the UK. Okay. Now, in order to get a registered company, business, you have to set up a business. Yeah. Go to company's house, have an active business, etc. Then the next step, you have to have what is called a sponsor license. How do you obtain a sponsor license? Who gives a sponsor license to a business? It's the Home Office. You make an application for a sponsor license. Home Office will check everything, make sure that you're regulated, your accounts are up to date, you're an active company, check your HR system. Thorough investigation. Thorough investigation. The Home Office will do. So the Home Office will check your company, the status of your company. All right? And if you pass or you qualify for a sponsor license, it will be granted to you. So you set up a business, you have an active running business, then you apply for your sponsor license. Hi, good evening, Heart and Life. Good evening. COS is brain drain part for immigrants. True. So Home Office grants your sponsor license to you. Then the next step now is to find employees. And how do you find employees? Home Office usually say that you should advertise your vacancies. So if you need a carer, a care assistant, if you need an architect, whatever job you have available, you should advertise it. But then the Home Office created what is called an immigration salary list. It used to be called before shortage occupation list. So this is where Home Office is saying, we need these people in the UK. We need the doctors, we need the lawyers, we need the nurses, we need the carers, the care assistant. We need them in the UK. There's a shortage for carers. So then what happens is that companies no longer advertise their vacancies. They go through an external company to source these employees. You call them recruitment companies sometimes. And by extension, they have agents who will source employees. And so the company or the business would apply for COS. So let's say, for example, you have a care company. The Home Office may allow 10 COS in a year for you, or 20 COS in every quarter for you. So you have those allocated potential COS, and you just need to apply for them. And so companies would start applying for COS for potential employees a year. Thank you, Queen. A year. Thank you. And so companies will start applying for COS for employees that were recommended to them from the agent. Cheaper labor. Cheaper labor. And because there was this gap in the UK for workers, especially in the care sector, there was a gap. Yeah, there was a need for workers in the care sector, for example. Then businesses start to see a way in which they can manipulate the system. Okay? They saw a way, a loophole where they can manipulate the system. And so they decide to have agents. Some of these companies or businesses, they are the agents themselves in Nigeria. So they have their company here and they also run an agency in Nigeria. So the money is circulating. And they will take £5,000. How much equivalent naira is this? They will take 4,000 naira from I'm going to use the word, from poor people. Poor people. People who are struggling financially, just to come to the UK. When they get to the UK, there are no work for them. There are no shifts for them. We have to look at the victims. I cannot focus on those who are aware. We have to look at the victims. Because sometimes the agents, they give you such a sweet offer. Such a sweet offer. They market the product. Yeah, the product is the COS. They market the COS so good that you had no choice but to borrow the money, to get a loan, to sell your house, to sell your land, to sell your car, to sell your cattle, to sell all of your animals, just to come to the UK. And what you're thinking of is coming to the UK, working, making life better, sending money back to repay your debts, and move on with your life. Then when you get to the UK, you're shocked. It's nothing like what you were promised. Nothing. Thank you, Queen. Please remember to tap and share the live and send me roses as well. If you have roses, send me roses and double tap the live, power tap the live, okay? If you're on my YouTube, like the live as well. All right. So now they're asking for, thank you for the roses, mommy. So now they're asking for justice. Thank you for the roses, darling. For justice and a stricter regulation to curb the scam. Thank you for the roses on TikTok. Thank you. How is this going to be done? How is this going to be done? That's the next question. I think the Home Office has been trying and they are aware of this situation. They are aware. Thank you for the roses plug. Thank you. They are aware of this situation that's happening. And it is, I have to repeat myself, it's very unfortunate that people are left in this position. It's not easy being in this country homeless. It's not easy being in this country without food, without shelter, without friends and family. It's very hard mentally. It's very hard. And for you to come to the UK and to think that it's going to be a bed of roses, and then it's a living nightmare. It's not what you expected. Despite you paying for the COS, put that aside. Despite you paying for you paid for the COS, put that aside. You expected to work. You expected to earn. You expected to live good. You expected to send the money back to your family and friends that you borrowed money from. You expected to pay your loan. You expected to send for your children. But then you come to the UK and you're on the streets now. You have nowhere to go. So it's a very, very unfortunate situation. And I think the Home Office, they are trying to see how much they can curb this situation. That's why they have increased compliance to the immigration rules. And lots of care homes, over 460 care homes in 2024, sponsor license were revoked. Over 460 of them last year. Their sponsor license got revoked because of this same scamming issue, particularly in Nigeria. They must understand how the law works. There are guidelines to follow. Queen saying that, yes. So the Home Office is trying its best to curb the situation. Now the question is, what's going to happen to the victims in the UK? What's going to happen to them? Home Office, basically, the visa will eventually be curtailed. Okay, and they will have 60 days to either leave the UK or make another immigration application. But bear in mind that there are also a system that Home Office has put in place, whereby, for example, if your company's sponsor license has been revoked, there's a program where the Home Office will allow you to stay in the UK legally until your visa will expire. And within that time, there are things that you can access to try and get another sponsorship. So I think they offer like counseling, or they offer something like a job center, similar to like a job center. Yeah, the Home Office offers that sort of service for people who came to the UK. Their visa has been curtailed because their employer's sponsor license has been revoked, and they give them that grace period to try and find another COS. So practically, you're in the UK legally until that COS, until that visa expires. All right. So there are cases where the Home Office does not immediately cancel your visa, but there are cases where they would cancel it immediately. Yeah, or give you the 60 days period. But some people have been getting a longer period to sort themselves out. All right. But that's the knock on effect. If you pay for a COS to come to the UK, expect the unexpected. All right. Expect to eventually don't have a job. Expect to eventually have no shifts. All right. So it's best, do not use an agent. Go directly to the company. Do your research on the company. Don't go to an agent, and do not spend so much money for a COS. COS is under £400 to the Home Office, and it's paid by the employer, not the potential employee. Sometimes people pay for these COS and never get them. You never get them. And remember, when you pay for a COS, you still have to then do a skilled worker visa. And you may not be you might not get your skilled worker visa. So it's a risk. It's a risk that you're taking. Be careful. Be careful. Okay? So let me see. The article went on to state, no more scamming. Enough is enough. Whether you like it or not, all of you are going to get reported, she declared. That's one of the protesters. Okay? We are here waiting for those who still want to join the protest. Don't let anybody scare you. This is a country where you can speak up. Don't let anyone intimidate you with deportation. If anyone has collected money from you, this is the time to speak up. Tomorrow may be too late. The protesters displayed a banner featuring the faces of 30 individuals allegedly involved in COS scams, with the message, "Say no to UK COS scam." Faces of people scamming others with thousands of pounds for COS in the UK. Olabisi told journalists that about 10 protesters gathered in front of the Home Office, where an official advised them to submit a formal petition for their grievances to be addressed. The certificate of sponsorship is a visa scheme that allows licensed UK organizations to hire foreign workers. While COS should be free, many job seekers from overseas have fallen prey to fraudulent agents demanding exorbitant fees in exchange for sponsorship. Several victims who called into the TikTok live session narrated how a fraudster duped his friends out of £15,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. 15,000. Wow. That's bad. Yes, that's bad. Let's go on. The article continues. It says, my friend, along with his wife and two children, paid a whopping £15,000 to a guy in the UK for a certificate of sponsorship. I warned them not to, but they didn't listen. When they got to Manchester, ooh, Manchester, really? Okay. They paid even more money to another person for the same COS. But nothing came out of it, he said. The issue here is those paying are aware. I think Home Office should do a thorough investigation on board. That's true. Good point there, Manny. Don't be silly. That's what we do here. Well, it's to help those who don't understand. All right. So let's continue with the article. So it says another victim. Now I cannot pronounce the name because it's African names. But I'll just say Zoji. If you want, you can find the article. It's in Metro News online. Okay. So another victim, Joy, lamented how she had struggled for 2 years after being scammed. I have been here for 2 years. That's in the UK. Yet no shifts from my employer after paying £10,000. £10,000. No shifts. I have only been managing 20-hour shifts from another employer, she said. Next person. Jeez, I know. All right, so let's hear what the next person said. Heartless, yes. It said a content creator, Musa Yunis, shared how her cousin was scammed out of £20,000. £20,000. She said, nah, £20,000 they collected from my cousin. Wicked people, she wrote. Other victims reported similar losses. I paid £12,000 and now the company has stopped taking my calls. Another one said, but how did they get that money? God, this is crazy. It is, MH, it is. And it is real. It is true. It is true. The length and breadth that these people go to find the money to pay for a COS, it's mind-blowing. I'm telling you, it is true. I do believe these stories. And the next one said, since I arrived in the UK, I have had no work. I have been struggling financially after paying £12,000 in debt for the COS. They are very evil people. £12,000 in debt for a COS. Another one said, I was scammed out of 8,500. Please, I need help recovering my money. Then the article went on to state that a TikToker by the name of Rita highlighted the widespread devastation caused by the scam. So Rita said, these scammers prey on people's vulnerabilities and take thousands of pounds from them. Some sold their properties, while others borrowed heavily just to raise the money, only to be scammed. Now, in the first place, there are lots of information online. Lots of information on the internet. Why would you pay these exorbitant fees for a COS just to come to the UK? And these are victims from Nigeria, from Africa. Why would you pay so much money just for a sponsorship to come to the UK? That's a red flag immediately. Information is free online. Look, I'm doing my videos, I'm educating, I'm passing knowledge. All you need to do is to go onto Google and look for all things legal with Sherry. Or you type in, if you're looking for a certain information, you type it in on YouTube or on Google, and it pops up information for you. COS is free for potential employees. You don't pay for COS. Your employer pays for COS, not the employee. £12,000, £20,000 for a COS. But if you are at the beginning of my life, you would understand why people pay so much money for a COS. And I gave the example of Tom. Tom was in a desperate situation. Tom was in poverty. Tom was praying. Tom was crying. Tom was depressed. Tom needed a way out. And so when the church brother or the church sister after church approaches Tom and said, "Hey, Tom, I've got a good opportunities for you in the UK. I can get you a job in the UK." Tom felt like heaven. Tom felt like it was the best day of his life. Hey, I bego, like the Africans say, I'm going to get a job in the UK. I'm going to be making pounds. What should I do? And immediately, Tom will do anything, just to come to the UK. Kia is laughing. Just like these people paying 12,000, 20,000, 10,000 pounds, not naira. If you do the equivalent in naira, that's a lot of money just to get a COS to come to the UK and then to be left stranded. Due diligence. Do your checks. Go on to the Home Office website. Check the company is verified. Are you Nigerian? No, Willie, I'm not Nigerian, but I would love to go to Nigeria one of these days. Africa, actually. I would love to go there, but I'm not. But I do have a lot of clients from Africa. I do have a lot. And we do have lovely conversations. And I'm very down to earth with them. The same way I'm expressing myself here is the same way I express myself with my clients. We're very down to earth. But I'm discussing an article in Metro News about a recent protest last week, Thursday, in London by victims, potential victims, alleged victims. Let me use that word, alleged victims, who was scammed in Nigeria by agents for COS to come to the UK. So if you have just joined my live, this is what my topic is about. I'm dissecting and talking about the article. So let's carry on. So another protester said, "Thank you for the gift, Mommy. Thank you. Don't forget to like the live, guys. Let's double tap, power tap. Let's get the likes going up to at least 10K. And feel free to send me gifts if you want, whether on YouTube or on TikTok. All right. Thank you for the roses. Not every time I should come on and answer questions. We need to have topic discussions like this. And participate in the comments if you want. It's lovely having these sort of discussions. It brings awareness to anyone in Nigeria or Africa that is looking to pay exorbitant fees for a COS. So sometimes these topics are good. And as an immigration lawyer, I don't always want to come on and just be answering questions. No. Let me come on and have meaningful discussions like this, and everyone can learn something. All right? So if you have a brother or a sister, well, we're talking about Nigeria because the protesters are from Nigeria. That's why we're talking about Nigeria. So if you have a brother or sister in Nigeria and they've been approached by an agent or they're trying to buy COS, speak to them. Send this live to them to be careful. Okay? Why can't they protest in Nigeria? Because they're here in the UK stranded. They're here in the UK homeless. They can go back to Nigeria and protest, but then who wants to go back to Nigeria and protest? So that's why they're protesting here. But rightfully, they can protest there as well. Because there are lots of people in Nigeria who paid for a sponsorship and never got it. So the money, as we say in the Caribbean, the money went down the drain. That's what we say in the Caribbean. The money went down the drain. It disappeared because they never got the COS. Those who were lucky to get the COS came to the UK, but now they have no work, no shifts, no job. They don't even know who their employer is. That's how deep it gets. They don't know their employer. So that's what we're talking about, Willie. And the article is in Metro News. If you go onto Google and you Google Metro News, the article is there. So the article is what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm returning to... All right, Mommy. Thank you for your contribution, Mommy. Thank you. Right. So let's kind of... I'm almost finished with the article. So to 20,000, but the victims arrive in the UK. But when the victims arrive in the UK, there is no job for them. Some even get their visas denied because they were given fake COS. And I just said that a while ago. After you've applied, after you've gotten your COS, the next step, you have to apply for your skilled worker visa. It's not guaranteed. Your skilled worker visa is not guaranteed for you. The Home Office do not have to give you a skilled worker visa because that's a whole different set of requirements that you need to meet. And so you would have paid £20,000 just for the COS. And then when it gets to the skilled worker visa stage, you are denied. Can you get the £20,000 back? No, you won't get it back. Thank you for liking the live, guys. As you join the live, you power tap, double tap. You would not share the live as well. You will not get the 20,000 back. And yet your visa has been denied. You're still in Nigeria. Okay? So be very careful. So let's go on. Let's finish the article. So it went on to say that the COS scam has been a growing issue with multiple investigations exposing the fraudulent network. So Sky News investigation in August 2023 revealed how many African migrants were tricked into paying large sums for fake job offers, leaving them stranded in the UK. Then Daily Mail investigation in 2024, a Baptist minister was caught on camera admitting to charging £9,000 to arrange a job within 3 days. A migrant testified that he paid £6,000, not naira, pounds in cash for a COS, but never received sponsorship. These are real life situations. Scamming is real. Wherever there's a loophole, people are finding these loopholes in the immigration system in the UK. And they're using it to their advantage. £6,000 paid for a COS and never received the sponsorship. Never received the sponsor. Thank you so much, Queen Advocate, for promoting my YouTube channel as well. Thank you, darling. Never received their sponsorship. Then the next day, they cannot buy bread. They cannot buy food. They cannot survive. They cannot put a shelter over their head. It is as rough as it can be. Hi, Olabi. Hey, yeah. It is as bad as it gets. This is the situation that's happening in Nigeria and in the UK, in Africa, all over the world. But we're talking about Nigeria tonight because this is what the article focused on. The protest that happened in in London last week Thursday by victims who were scammed. Poor people like myself and you. It is a very, very unfortunate situation. Send this live to your friends and family in Nigeria and in Africa. Tell them, do not buy a COS. Do not pay for a COS. If an employer genuinely wants you to work for them, they would get you a COS. It's happening more by Nigerians, yes. And that's why they had this protest last week. And I agree with them by protesting. Because if A, B, C, D are in the same situation, then they need to come together. They need to support each other. They need to form a community. Because it's very rough in the UK when you're in this situation. And the reality of life is they cannot go back to Nigeria. Let me not use the word cannot. Yeah? But they do not want to go back to Nigeria. Because you have to look at it. Some of these people borrowed money to come here. How can they go back without paying off, without repaying the debts? How can they return to Nigeria without repaying the loans? Remember, people who loan them money to come here are poor people just like them. Yeah? Are people who don't have it either financially. But here what? Is my cousin. Is my neighbor. Is my sister. Is my brother. And my brother is going to the UK to make life better. So here what? I have a little 500 pounds in the bank, or I have a little, how much naira? I'm going to take it here. Go and make life better and come back for us or send money back for us. Now, how can you return to Nigeria and you haven't repaid your debts? Sometimes people are being threatened. People are being threatened from returning to Nigeria because they have not paid that outstanding money. It's a crime. Yes, it's a crime. And it's the reality of life. So it's not that they don't want to go back to Nigeria. They can go back to Nigeria. But some of them are being threatened. If they can't repay them, they need to repay the money. And because they are in a situation where they cannot go back to Nigeria, they're in the UK struggling to survive. Okay? Double tap the live, guys. I'm almost finished, but the conversation is interesting. So if you're enjoying the conversation, send me a thumbs in the chat or double tap the live. If you're enjoying the conversation, like the live on YouTube, send me a thumbs up in the chat or a heart in the chat or double tap, power tap the live. Okay, I'm almost finished, but it's a very, very interesting conversation. It's a very, very interesting topic as well. Okay. If you're on my YouTube live, double tap the live as you join. All right. Share the live also. We're coming to the end. All right. So then it went on to say, one of the individuals, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the heart, Kia. Right. So it went on to the article went further state one of the individuals whose pictures appeared on the protest ban, Mojisola, denied any involvement in COS fraud. The allegations made against me on social media are completely false. So this is one of the alleged um, person who's involved in the fraudulent action is saying the allegations made against me on social media are completely false. I have taken legal action against my accuser at the King's Bench Division of the Royal Courts of Justice in London, she told Sunday Punch. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission acknowledged the rising issue of visa scams, but stated that it was unaware of the London protests. Then another person affected individuals to pursue legal action stated they should tread cautiously as they protest and should not take the law into their own hands. They should remain law abiding even as they register their displeasure, he said. As of press time, the UK Home Office had not responded to inquiries regarding the protests. A new serial publication with broad title Civil Serial has launched to provide concise research guide for civil practitioners. Okay, that is something else. Right. That's advertisement there now. Right. So that's the end of the article there in regards to they have not heard anything from the Home Office as yet on this matter. All right. But the accusers, the alleged accusers have come forward to say, they were not involved in any fraudulent activities. They have no idea of this and that they're, sorry, they're bringing a claim against the protesters who accuse them of being fraudulent. Okay. So that's the end of that article. You can find the article on just Google Metro News, and the headline of the article is Nigerians stage protests in London against rising cases of UK certificate of sponsorship scams. That's the headline. Oh, not going to say anything. All right. Yeah, the Home Office will not say anything, to be honest. So they have not heard from the Home Office as yet on this matter. So they're still waiting to hear what the Home Office is going to say. I'm not sure if the Home Office will give any statement on it because the Home Office is also trying to see how they can curb this issue. It's an ongoing issue, to be honest. It's nothing new, but it is increasing. All right. So if you're in Africa, particularly in Nigeria, before I leave this live, remember what I'm going to say now. You do not pay for a COS. Okay? You do not pay for a COS to come to the UK to work. All right? COS are paid by the potential employer. Okay? The only thing you might pay for is your skilled worker visa application and just the application fee. But you do not pay for a COS. So if you are approached by any agent in Nigeria, no matter how desperate you are, no matter how vulnerable you are at the time, say no. There are genuine jobs in the UK, and there are genuine recruitment companies, there are genuine employers in the UK. Apply directly to a company or an employer. Do not go through an agent. Do the right thing and do it the right way. Avoid coming to the UK and to be a part of the protesters who have been scammed. Avoid coming to the UK on a COS that you've bought and then you end up in a situation where you're homeless. You have no food. Your mental health is affected. Let's get to 10K likes before I leave, guys. Double tap the live, power tap the live. Try to avoid these situations, do not pay for a COS, no matter how much you need to come to the UK. If you're in the UK already, what can you do now? Can you get your money back? It's going to be hard. It's impossible to get your money back. Okay? What you can do if you're in the UK, there are help for you. Access the help. Okay? There are help for you in the UK. There are charity organizations that can offer you clothing, shelter, food. Speak to someone. There are immigration applications that you can make. Speak to a solicitor, speak to a lawyer. Get consultation. If you cannot pay for consultation, you can get a legal aid lawyer, which is a free lawyer. Do not stay in silence. Staying silent will not help you. It will just make you more depressed and maybe bring on anxiety, etc. So if you're in the UK and you have been scammed, speak to someone. Thank you for liking the live, guys. Okay? Get the help that you need. And if you're in Nigeria, be careful. Scammers would appear to be genuine, but they are scammers. That's why they appear to be genuine. They are scammers. The UK has increased its compliance laws. Lots of sponsor licenses are being revoked. So they are putting measures in place. The Home Office is putting measures in place to curb this issue. But you also need to do your part. Don't pay for a sponsorship and then come to the UK and act like you're blind. And act like you did not know. No. The red flags are there from the start. Okay? So that's my advice to you. That's my genuine advice to you. If you come to the UK, well aware of what you did, paid for sponsorship, then don't be a victim. You're not a victim. Okay? You're not a victim. If you knew that you were paying for a COS while you were not supposed to pay for a COS, you're not a victim. Thank you for liking the live, Yuri. Digilu, thank you for liking the live. Thanks for liking the live, Kia. Let's get to 10K likes, guys. All right. So that's my advice to you tonight. It was a very interesting topic. I wanted to speak about this since last week, but I've been so tied up with other things. And I'm like, tonight I have to talk about it. So yeah. I've had people reaching out to me on TikTok, on YouTube, and the first thing they said to me, I want to work in the UK. How can I work in the UK? And you know what I say to them? I say, I'm not an agent. I'm not an agent. I said, I'm an immigration lawyer. I'm not an agent. I cannot give you work. And one person said to me, and that person is from Nigeria. She said, thanks for being honest. That's what she said to me. Either she or he said, thanks for being honest. They were desperate to pay anything if I can give them a COS. I'm not an agent. I'm an immigration lawyer, not an agent. $10K, 10.5K likes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for giving me 10K likes. And to all of the gifters tonight, thank you very much. And to everyone who stayed on my live from start to, well, I'm going to end in a few. Thank you very much. I hope you have taken away something from this live this evening. I hope you have learned something from this live. If you can pass the live on to your friends and families in Nigeria, and for those on my YouTube channel, welcome. As you join the live, you like the live. Double tap on the screen to like the live. And if you haven't got a chance to listen to the beginning of the live, that's okay. I'll be posting the live on YouTube later on, so you can go back and listen to it. We did as usual. Thank you for that feedback, MH. Thank you. How are you? How about Manchester? It's all good here, Digila. They are desperate and they need to stop and be wise. Think before they act. Yes. Anyone that's looking to come to the UK to work, do so genuinely. Do not pay for a COS. Do not pay for a COS. That's my message tonight. Do not pay an agent for a COS. A COS is free. It's not, you don't pay for it. The employer pays for it, not you. Okay? And oh yes, one more thing I wanted to say is that sometimes you won't pay for the COS, but the arrangement would be that you come and you work and you pay for it when you get here, meaning that you'll be working for nothing. So you like Billy Button. In the Caribbean, we say Billy Button work for nothing. Yeah? That's a saying. Billy Button work for nothing. So they would say to you, oh, you don't need to pay anything, but when you come to the UK, I'll take it from your pay. Yuri's laughing. He's laughing. Hi, Latifras. Yeah, they would say when you come to the UK, I'll take it out of your pay. So you should be working for £3,000. You get a 900 and 500 pounds. Say no. It's not worth it. The UK is cold already and depressing with this weather. And then to come here and to have immigration issues like such, it's not worth it. All right? So be careful. You do not pay for a COS. Do not be scammed. I did a video on this previously. I think I need to restream that video. All right? Do not be scammed. Share her YouTube channel, guys. Yes, thank you, Latifras. Hi, Mrs. M. Thank you. Yes, share my YouTube channel. It's All Things Legal with Sherry. Same profile picture as well. So yeah, that's my message for this evening. I'm not answering any questions. You will wish you stay in your country. Thank you, Yuri. That's very true. The UK is already, it's a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong. The UK is beautiful. England is lovely. But it's a cold country, especially if you're coming from the Caribbean or Africa where the weather is great. And then you come to this cold place, you already have enough with the weather. The last thing you need is immigration issues, especially in a situation where you knew from the beginning that you were paying for something. Like everywhere it have its pros and cons. Yes, it's pros and cons. Yes, that's true, Yuri. That's correct. Everywhere does. Everywhere does. Thank you for that, Queen. My YouTube channel is All Things Legal. Make sure to go on over. You can also become a member on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure how to set it up on TikTok as yet, but on YouTube, if you want to become a member, I'm going to have that feature very soon. You can support me on YouTube by looking at my videos, liking, sharing, commenting as well. Okay, and joining my live stream also and liking the video. Okay. Someone is scamming this chat. Yeah, I'm not answering questions today. Not every time I should come on and answer questions. Sometimes we need to have chit chats like this. Yeah. And I know there are people who are watching my live and they have not tapped in, but nevertheless, welcome. Hope you are following my page, okay? Miss A1 Official, yeah? Is there any possibility with COS code 6135 for dependents inside the UK? with our children. You've not contributed to the topic this evening, have you? I'm not answering questions today, my dear, okay? Maybe tomorrow, all right? And I'm not sure if you've contributed to the conversation tonight. On TikTok, it's the heart me, Sherry. No, there's another one, Queen. There's another one. You can actually become you can actually join my membership here on YouTube as well. Like you can be a, what do you call it? Subscriber. Not subscriber, subscription, I think. But I've got 1 or 2 people on it who have subscribed or something. We're liming right now. Yes, we're liming right now. Not answering question, yeah? We're liming right now. Yeah, he needs to stop spamming. He has not contributed to the conversation tonight at all. And for those on my YouTube, I usually come live and answer legal questions. It's my way of giving back free legal advice. But sometimes we just need to have a chit chat on topics, yeah, like this, and just share. Okay, I get it. Yeah, subscription. Yes. So on TikTok, you can subscribe as in subscription. And on YouTube, you can also become a member. You can send me what do you call it? Is it gifts? I think on TikTok you can send gifts, and on YouTube you can send super chats, I think. Like the live, share the live, all the good stuff. That's all I ask for my free information. But yes, so that's what I do. I'll come on live and I'll answer questions. But tonight, sometimes we need to have it a bit different, yeah, where we discuss topics, yeah, topics of interest. Because to be honest, I have people asking me every day about work sponsorship, and I do know a lot of situations where people are in this type of situation here, okay, where they have been scammed, genuinely scammed. Yeah. So we have to share knowledge and bring awareness. That's the key thing. Bring awareness to anyone who would be, in this situation, or to avoid anyone from getting into this situation. So yeah, sometimes we need to have this chat. Let me just see if anyone commented on my YouTube before I leave. 6 likes. Thank you for liking my YouTube live. Thank you. Yes, you can email me or you can inbox me. Make sure that you're following my page, and then you can inbox me if you have any question. And for those on YouTube, you can email me at allthingslegal27@gmail.com. All things legal, I'll put it in the chat. Oh, I come back with something. Nobody see me. All right, so I'm gonna get ready to go now. Okay. Yes, it's real. Yes, Yuri, it's real. Thank you, Latifras. Thank you. So I'm gonna, once we hit 15K, I'm leaving. I've been here a while now. Sorry. MH, inbox me and I'll send it back to you, okay? That's fine. Digilo, inbox me, my dear. I'm not answering any questions tonight, okay? Miss A1 official. I'm not sure if you were here at the beginning of the live, but when I say contribution, I mean like, typing messages, communicating, being involved in the topic. That's what I meant, okay? But you can inbox me if you have any question. But tonight I'm not answering any question tonight. You say I just don't have nothing to say, so I'm troubling you. I know. Miss Queen advocates in my fingers hurt. I love my beautiful followers. Thank you for always supporting me, guys. I really do appreciate it. Honestly. From the bottom of my heart, I do. Sometimes I I speak my Caribbean slangs, which is just me. But you guys do understand me, so that's good. KSA. All right, so 15.1K. Have a beautiful evening, guys. It's 9:59. I've been here longer than expected. My phone battery is now 18%. And I've got one more day to go on the job. And even on the weekends, I do work as well sometimes. Got to support my Caribbean people. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Why not the top of your heart? The top bigger. Yuri, I don't understand that one. Why not the top of your heart? The top bigger. I came and I didn't know what about contribution. That's okay, Miss A1 official. Inbox me, okay? I usually do answer questions on live, but today is just we liming. Yeah? We liming tonight. So tomorrow, when I'm next live, I'll be answering questions if I don't have a topic. But if you inbox me, Miss A1 or Miss A1 official, then I'll respond to you there, okay? Don't worry. Emirates say we love it. Thank you. All right. So I need to get my YouTube a bit more involved. Night, all. Good night. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Same to you. You say I appreciate it. Yes, from the top of my heart, not the bottom of my heart, Yuri. From the top of my heart. Guys, please remember to share my YouTube channel with your friends and family and ask them to subscribe to my YouTube, okay? All right, I'm gonna go now. Let me end my YouTube first. So good night to everybody on YouTube. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking the live and for subscribing also. I do appreciate all of you, all right? Take care. I'll be back soon. Tomorrow maybe. Who knows? I'm out for now. Bye.